All right, let's just jump right in. The quantum computing revolution is right around the corner, and honestly, it's bringing a huge security threat with it. And if you're like most organizations, that first line of defense you've got, your cryptographic inventory, well, it might be lying to you. Today, we're going to dig into exactly why that is.
And look, this is not some far-off sci-fi movie plot. We are literally talking about the bedrock tools that protect everything, our bank accounts, our company's secrets, even national security. And as the source material makes crystal clear, they are about to become totally obsolete. The stakes, they just couldn't be higher.
So it's no surprise that organizations all over the world are scrambling, trying to get ready for this quantum leap. They know they have to do something, and they know that clock is ticking. But here's the real question. Are they actually doing the right thing?
The first step most companies take, it seems super logical, right? They decide, okay, let's make a list of all our cryptography. I mean, you can't fix what you can't find. But here is the critical, fundamental flaw we're going to explore. The way they're going about it is basically setting them up for a massive failure down the road.
And that brings us to the most common approach, which is really the heart of the problem we're talking about today. It's the manual inventory. We're talking spreadsheets, we're talking interviews, sending out surveys. It feels like you're getting something done, but really it's a dangerous illusion.
I mean, on the surface, you totally get the appeal, right? It's easy to get started, it looks like you're making fast progress, and hey, it shows the auditors and the bosses you're taking action. But the reality? That spreadsheet is a work of fiction. The data is completely inadequate, and the worst part, the absolute worst part, is that it creates this powerful, dangerous sense of false confidence.
And the source material, it puts this danger so bluntly. It says this false confidence could be even worse than doing nothing at all. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. If you do nothing, at least you know you're exposed. You know you have a problem. But with a bad inventory, you think you're safe. You're walking around feeling secure right up until the moment everything falls apart.
Okay, so why? Why are these manual inventories so fundamentally broken? Well, it all comes down to the very nature of cryptography itself. It's actually designed to be hidden. It's like it wears an invisibility cloak. See, your crypto isn't just sitting in your main applications where you can see it. Oh no, it's embedded deep inside third-party libraries you didn't even write. It's inherited through layers upon layers of dependencies you probably don't even know you have. And it's literally baked right into the firmware and hardware. You can't just send an email and ask an engineer where it is.
So here's the paradox, and this is the really crucial point to get. Good cryptography is supposed to be invisible. It's supposed to just work in the background without you even noticing. That's what makes it secure. But that exact feature, its invisibility, is what makes it an absolute nightmare to try and track in a spreadsheet.
But okay, let's just imagine for a second you could overcome all those technical hurdles. Even then, you are not in the clear, not even close, because now you're up against a completely different and frankly, maybe even bigger problem, the human factor.
Just think about how organizations really work. People come and go, right? And when they leave, all that tribal knowledge about how things were built just walks out the door with them. And who wants to be the person in a meeting who has to admit, I actually have no idea how that critical system works? Nobody. Then you've got different teams working in their own little silos. They can't see the whole picture. And that's all before you even factor in simple, unavoidable human error when typing stuff into a spreadsheet. A manual process just doesn't stand a chance against that kind of reality.
All right, so we've pretty much established that trying to do this manually is, well, it's a dead end. So what's the answer? How do you solve this? Well, you have to fight an invisible problem with tools that can actually see the unseen. You need automation.
But, and this is a really important but, when we talk about automation, there's no magic silver bullet here. There's no one button you can press. The source material is super clear on this. No single tool can possibly see every single layer of a modern IT environment. It's just too complex. So the only strategy that actually works is to use a combination of different, specialized tools.
So here's what that actually looks like. You've got one type of tool, a static code analyzer, that's digging through your source code and binaries, looking for things like hard-coded keys. Then you've got another tool looking at network traffic, sniffing out outdated encryption protocols that are still being used. And then a third tool is analyzing your device firmware, finding the crypto that's embedded right into the hardware. See, each tool finds a different piece of the puzzle, and you absolutely need all of them to see the full picture.
And when you take all the data from all those different tools and put it together, you create something called a cryptographic bill of materials, or a CBOM for short.
Now, this is not your flimsy, out-of-date spreadsheet. No way. This is a living, breathing, detailed, and accurate map of your entire crypto landscape. This is the foundation you need for true quantum readiness.
Okay, now, building a full C-bomb. That's a big job. It's comprehensive, and it's going to take some time. But the quantum threat isn't waiting. It's urgent. And that brings us to the final and honestly the most practical recommendation from our source material, the hybrid strategy.
And this really gets to the heart of the dilemma that every leader is facing right now. You're feeling the pressure to act today, to secure your most critical systems immediately. But you also know that if you rush it and do an incomplete job, you're just going to leave yourself exposed down the line. So how on earth do you do both?
The answer is you do them in parallel. The hybrid approach simply means you start fixing the stuff you already know is critical, your crown jewels. You start on that right away. But at the exact same time, you kick off that deep, comprehensive, automated discovery process to build out the full C-bomb. You don't wait for one to finish before you start the other. You do both.
And this approach, it just solves the dilemma. You get that immediate risk reduction on your most important stuff, while also making sure you'll eventually have total comprehensive coverage. It lets you show everyone you're being proactive about compliance and helps you put your resources where they really need to go based on a real data-driven picture of your environment.
So at the end of the day, the really big takeaway here is about shifting your entire mindset. Preparing for the quantum age isn't about just checking a box on a project plan that says inventory complete. It's about building a real, robust, fact-based understanding of where you're truly vulnerable, so you can achieve genuine lasting security.
And that really just leaves us with one final question for you to think about. As you get ready for this next massive technological shift, are you building your security on a solid foundation of fact, generated by real data? Or are you building it on faith? Faith that a spreadsheet is telling you the whole story?